disposal, village recycling centers. We still see local governments giving out large contracts to contractors who engage with privately owned dump sites. There are many now in the foothills of Sierra Madre. Many of them are illegal, but they're owned by big business people, and so up to this day, they continue in operation, leaving us with things like this. When it comes to retailing, again, the one that has the main initiative are the mega malls, again owned by mega corporations. And we see it in the countryside. As soon as a mega mall is established in a provincial location, there goes the more neighborly, the more community-oriented establishments. So when you go to a mega mall in Angeles, or you go to a mega mall in Legazpi, the locators you see there are basically the same, the products are basically the same. And so there again you see the concept of a trickle-down retailing system. When it comes to energy, the same thing. If one mega plant is blown up, the whole Visayas can be blacked out. Because we have this concept, again, trickle-down, superiority, organized country. You're going to organize your energy system, well, let's organize it so that big business, big importers of coal from Indonesia, big contractors can build those plants, and the negative impacts would be felt by the small communities. But that doesn't really matter because, again, the country's vision is organized around the superiority principle. Farm production, if you look at our poverty situation, 18 million Filipino families, those involved with farming, fishing, livestock, coconut farming, that's where you will find the poverty-stricken families. And instead of our farm production being the primary sector that a subsidiarity principle would build up, instead we see cartels. This has been investigated by the Senate, but for some reason the investigation was stopped, that our three major crops, rice, corn, vegetables, are controlled to trading and finance links that entrap many small farmers. This production is consolidated, and then they are trickled down to the small town markets, and consumers are faced with high prices and poor quality of products. GNP indicators. Any president under the superiority model, any president considers their main job to make the GNP grow from, let's say, 5% to 7%. Then the president can say, wow, we did a terrific job. But really, how do we compute the GNP? Under the superiority organizing principle, GNP is computed not from our household income, it is computed using the progress of the corporate accounts, the enterprise accounts. So if you were the president, even if you were Noynoy Aquino and you had a nice heart, but you were using the superiority model for GNP accounting, you will take the figure from the enterprise profits per sector, consolidate that, and you will come up with your GNP. So if you want that to grow, what must you do? You must empower the enterprises. So there is a superiority principle even when it comes to us defining economic national progress. And of course, what are the results of the pinatulo or superiority? I call it pinatulo because it's trickled down. Don't be maliciously minded there. Superiority principle, and you get the result of what does GNP have to do with the real people. And here we go, political parties controlled by one dominant person. You made it big in real estate, you've got a lot of money, you've got a vision, just buy a party. And then spend the next months building up your patronage system, your machinery. Pay for those ads, 1 billion pesos in ads. That will get you from 14% in the survey, it will shoot you up to 28%. It's a formula, it's trickle down, it's superiority. Export manufacturers, few companies involved with assembly of foreign inputs. Again, a very trickle-down model, very little linkage with our domestic economy. Bring in the inputs from China, assemble it, and export it to the United States. This accounts for a lot now of our industrial manufacturing base, something as simple as that. Again, superiority trickle-down. Languages, the Philippines had 67 ethnic languages, not dialects, languages, but because of this superiority policy of only having one language, Tagalog is the main language being promoted as Filipino, instead of allowing local regions and groups to build on their cultural richness, build on their languages, build on their storylines, and have a richness in diversity. Even in culture, we're all being bombarded by just Hollywood and Manila productions, very same formula of kind of storylines, instead of using the pinatubo, the subsidiarity way of local storylines being developed into cultural productions. Government structures, we already know, Karina David came up with so many statements when she was head of the Civil Service Commission of how the President is able to appoint tens of thousands of positions all over the country. And in her observation, most of them are not qualified for the positions that they were filling. Taxes, this one is really surprising. Many people don't realize this, of how pinatulo or how superiority our fiscal system is organized. Malacanang, through the Bureau of Customs and the BIR, collects 90% of that 1.4 trillion peso budget of our taxes. Only 10% is collected by the local governments. Now, of that 100%, 83% is controlled by Malacanang. 17% is the internal revenue allotment. Only 17% is divided for 1,700 local government units, while the one in the center controls 83% of the 1.4 trillion. So, it's not surprising why somebody would be so ambitious to become president, because you sit on 1.4 trillion